Hey guys, CreamCrazy here, ready to do the part 4 of Wrestling Rant Week. Wrestling Rant 62. Sorry guys if I'm not my usual enthusiastic, chirpy self. I've got a bit of a throat problem again and I'm feeling bunged up and like shit. But that won't stop me doing this video because I want to do it, it's good on him. Anyway, this video guys, the top 5 bands or artists who have benefited from WWE the most. Now, many bands have got involved with WWE over the years, but in my honest opinion, there aren't too many who can say they've benefited a lot from them. Because, remember, WWE only started using real themes, real actual songs for wrestlers in around, what, 2000, 2001, and only started using theme songs for pay-per-views on a regular basis during the Invasion storyline. So, there hasn't, okay, the show has been around, what, 10 years or so of good use of music, and that explains why the bands in this list are all from the last decade. So yeah, don't need to go into it. I don't even need to say Rick Derringer managed to get some work because of Hulk Hogan. He was already a classic rock big fame guy. Sorry, again, my mind is in different places, and so is the rest of my face. Nonetheless, 5 bands here, all I think did benefit from WWE one way or another. Number 5. Now, to be perfectly honest, if it wasn't for WWE, to be honest, I have no idea who the hell these guys are. Rev Theory. Now, honestly, for 2008, they had, what, 2 theme songs, Light It Up and Hell Yeah, as theme songs for One Night Stand and WrestleMania 24 and One Night Stand, respectively. They also then, the vocalist, had the theme song of Randy Orton's theme tune. So, they've obviously gained fans from that. Because then again, the songs I've mentioned, especially Hell Yeah, the theme song for One Night Stand, reached #1 on the mainstream rock chart. Now, honestly, I wouldn't know who the hell these guys are. Same with Adelita's Way. I would not know who these guys are. Honestly, I don't listen to either, but I can say this. Rev Theory wouldn't have fans if it, well, a big legion of them at least, even if it's a small amount, an extreme addition of fans if it wasn't for WWE. Because, like I said, who would you guys have known that these guys were the band behind those songs? I didn't even know they fucking existed. So, honestly, it's a bit ridiculous, I know, to put a band with, that honestly I don't listen to myself in this list, even though every other band in here I do listen to on a semi, if not regular basis. So, they're there, I can see they've benefited, because they're in a prominent position music-wise. Honestly, if you hear a band on WWE TV, you often check them out, thinking, okay, they're okay, and then after a while they kind of grow on you, or they kind of blow your face off. These guys did a combination of 2 through different mediums, and it worked for them. Number 4, Drowning Pool. Simply because Bodies was fucking everywhere in the summer of 2001. The SummerSlam 2001 theme song, it obviously helped, because that's when the Invasion storyline kind of really kicked into gear. You think about it. That song was also the ECW TV theme song for 2006 to mid-2007 for obvious reasons. Tearaway was the theme song for WrestleMania X8, and to be honest, is the most synonymous song with it. You then also think that Step Up was used for WrestleMania 20 as well. They're now a perennial WrestleMania favourite. Okay, not anymore, but they were a WrestleMania favourite. And in all fairness, none of their music, since Ryan McCombs has come into the band and now left, the only thing that he's ever done was the SmackDown theme song Rise Up, which, to be honest, is SmackDown's longest running theme song. It was what, mid-2004 to around, what, 2009 when Let It Roll was put in. So that's around 4-something years. That's pretty damn impressive. And the fact is, Drowning Pool were one of those new metal bands who got a big following already because their first album, oh, and also, just for complete forgot it, but Sinner was also Vengeance 2001's theme song. So, again, major singles from the first 2 albums were theme songs of big pay-per-views. It's just the fact that these guys, they were already getting massive reception for their first album, and if their singer hadn't died, they would have probably gone on to be much, much bigger than they ended up now becoming. But to put it out there, people, Drowning Pool, one of those new metal bands who came along at the right time, because their angry, in-your-face hard rock summed up everything WWE wanted to throw at you. And that was perfect for them. It made them become synonymous with the latter stages of the Attitude Era, the early stages of Ruthless Aggression. It made them something. Because I bet a lot of people in the midst of that summer bought Sinner, not just because it was everywhere on mainstream rock radio, but also because WWE had used it to their advantage. Because seriously, if you use the right pay-per-view theme song, anything goes right. Number 3. My second favourite band of all time, formerly my first, Alter Bridge. Simply because if it wasn't for Edge, these guys wouldn't get a dedicated following. Now that's obviously not true, because if you're going to be 3/4 of Creed, you've already got a sizable fan base. So why are these guys so high? Let's just say Edge with Metalingus gave these guys a footing. They get this. Every time you hear Edge's theme song, everyone, including myself, is thinking, who the fuck are these guys? Okay, it took me a while to really get into them, and honestly, it took Blackbird and Rise Today, the Unforgiven 2007 theme, for me to really give a shit. Because honestly, Creed were more my cup of tea at the time. But honestly, WWE and Edge are as big a part of these guys' careers as anything. Because if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be anywhere. Simple as. Okay, I can say Red Theory wouldn't be anywhere because of WWE. Alter Bridge have a massive big thank you for them. Because, hell, Edge even mentioned thanks to AB for making a good theme song. So, think about it. Because most fans of AB are split into 3 categories. You've got the old Creed fans who followed them. You've got the WWE fans who followed due to Edge's theme, and also, I want to mention, Find the Real being the Royal Rumble 2005 theme song. Then you have the in-betweeners, the people who don't like either, but still got into them anyway because they're a great band. And that's amazing, because these guys, Metalingus, live, get sung along to more than most of the songs in their set list, and I know I've seen it all three times I've seen them live. It is a big thing. And honestly, I will say it again, AB would not be where they are if WWE didn't give them that platform. Hey, Miles Kennedy and Mark Tremonti made an appearance on Raw in early 2005 with Edge. So, I think it was January 26, 2005, if my memory serves me correctly. But, yeah, they're one of the only bands to, of course, not make too much of an appearance, but they at least made an appearance. They were part of Raw. They're part of history. You go on YouTube, you search up Alter Bridge on Raw, you can see Mark and Miles doing acoustic edition of Find the Real in the lead up to the Royal Rumble. Again, more coverage equals more win. And honestly, they're an example of why having good music in WWE is so important, because if it wasn't for the WWE, I wouldn't have found them. So, again, gotta say again, music is so important to WWE that you gotta put the right people in there for the benefit of my sanity, just to say. Number 2, Limp Bizkit. Now you're probably saying to me, how the hell could you put Limp Bizkit at number 2 when they solidified everything about the Attitude Era? They were in your face, they were edgy, they were controversial. To be honest, to put it that way, yes, they were very controversial, because they were either rabid fans or really a lot of haters, and there were a lot of haters. You see, when you think about it, there aren't many bands you would synonymise with an era of wrestling than you would with Limp Bizkit, because we had Red Rollin' for Undertaker's theme song, probably his most famous theme bar the usual. This is the one theme that everybody can at least say, I bought Chocolate Starfish because of that song. And to be honest, it was also my way as well, not to forget, because WrestleMania X7 would be missing a significant chunk of itself if it wasn't for that. That song made the event. That song was the event. It was the epitome of the Attitude Era, the most controversial and successful bar Linkin Park new metal band, teaming up with the most successful WrestleMania in terms of fan reception and match quality. You think about it. Well, bar China and the Gimmick Battle Royal. But you think about it. That sums up perfection, and those two together are synonymous with the perfect wrestling event. It's big. And honestly, they had more success, because Build a Bridge was the Survivor Series 2003 theme. Due to that song alone, it made Results May Vary my album of 2003 and 4 when I knew nothing about other good music, and that was all I had, until Godsmack came along and shattered it. So, you think about it. Limp Bizkit, they may not have had as many songs as the others have, especially when you look at Drowning Pool in comparison. Most of their major singles were on it. Limp Bizkit, they jumped at the right time. They got Major League... Oh, also, they performed Rollin' at WrestleMania 19. So, it may have been a year or two out of date. And, oh, must not forget Crack Addict 2. It's not available, but because of that, we kind of go mental for it, because it is a very good song. And Limp Bizkit, like I said, they define the Attitude Era for so many people. I go to My Way, I go to Limp Bizkit, and there are fans from WWF days saying, "Oh, this is the sound of WWF in the early 2000s. This is good stuff." And honestly, I can still listen to them. I'm not a guy who says, "Oh, I'm now more mature, therefore I don't listen to these guys anymore." I'm not that kind of person. If it still sounds good to listen to now, like I do, I don't often shed my music history, I keep it. So I will keep listening as much as I can, because at one point, thanks to the WrestleMania X7 DVD, My Way was the most listened to song in my library. So, huzzah. See, Limp Bizkit, they were, to be honest with you, until the WWE audience came along, they were the pioneers of the genre after Korn, and before Staind came along. Then, the minute WWE was associated with them, listen, Significant Other sold around 6 million to 8 million copies, roughly, over the course of its history. Chocolate Starfish, when My Way and everything else came out, Rollin' included, sold over 12 million. WWE can say they were a significant part of that, and some people may say they're stupid for thinking they can admit that, but Limp Bizkit gained a shitload, and because they're defined as a major band of the era, you can say they benefited a hell of a lot from them. And finally, to my number one, because, ladies and gentlemen, when I was thinking this list up, I was stuck between which one to put over the other, you know? I was really, really kind of confused whether to put Limp Bizkit or this band at number one, right? Then looked back at their song history in WWE, and I realised something. Limp Bizkit may have been pay-per-view theme song guys and the theme song to the American Badass gimmick, which made them legendary. But you look at this band, and there's one thing that Limp Bizkit never did, that Drowning Pool hasn't done. And to be honest, Alter Bridge hasn't done, because they haven't had a pay-per-view theme song since Rise Today, which was now 5 years ago. And that's still have their songs played now. Still have WWE going to them as their band. And I remember reading a list of bands that have benefited and become WWE synonymous. These guys came out on top. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, I will now reveal it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the number one, the band that has benefited the most from WWE is Saliva. Because, honestly, there has not been a band that's had their appearances continuously made. They have been around in WWE folklore since they came into the music industry. Click Click Boom, the first ever theme song for a pay-per-view, which was normal. And hell, well, before Bodies, I think it was the Invasion, 2001, I think. Or was it No Mercy? I can't remember which, but it's one of the two. One of the first major songs. Then, I think Your Disease was used as one of the other song. I'm not entirely sure. Then you had Superstar at WrestleMania X8, a double theme song whammy for that one. Always hit number one at the charts exactly the same time. It was at Survivor Series 2002. They also performed live at it, as well as performing live at WrestleMania. Big thing. Made them seem very important. Rest in Pieces, or no, it wasn't Rest in Pieces, it was Survival of the Sickest, an album later used for Unforgiven 2004. Ladies and Gentlemen, of course, is now the epitome of WrestleMania themes. In fact, fuck it, they wrote Ladies and Gentlemen for WrestleMania 23 with WrestleMania in mind as a thank you for what WWE have given them. And that is the ultimate honour, isn't it? To have the fact is, when you listen to it, it epitomises WrestleMania in every single way. And it is still a bloody great song to boot. Then, I don't think... I know... which was the album that followed Bloodstained Love Story? I had to remember, I think it was Cinco Diablo, I think, with Hunt You Down for No Way Out 2010. They hadn't been included for a while. Or was it Extreme Rules Over the Limit? I can't remember which one of them, but it was in 2010. And then, of course, that means they've been there for a long time. They still make appearances every now and again. They still get interviewed by WWE.com every now and again. Plus, to top it all off, Saliva, Batista's theme song. They have done it all. They've been there live. They've had theme songs across the years for most of their albums. And, honestly, if you... okay, sure, you looked to Limp Bizkit first because of the WrestleMania X7 flagship in your face. But when you think about it, you may say even Motorhead because of its connection with Triple H. But to me, that isn't big enough. Because to me, that isn't big enough. They already had a massive fan base up to that point. Saliva, from their inception into the mainstream, they have been WWE's band. They have been the one band that you can honestly say, every time you look at them, think, WWE. Because even if you listen to them now, you can, and if you watch wrestling in the past but don't anymore, you can still find that connection. They, again, I've said it already, Saliva have thanked WWE on so many occasions for putting their theme songs on their programs. And also, I do want to point out also that Josie Scott also did the duet with Brent Smith of Shinedown for the last ECW theme. So, again, they've been everywhere. And they can say WWE did them a massive favour. Because that extra thing with all the TV audiences, you don't hear the theme song and they go, that's catchy shit. It became popular on mainstream radio. That combined, they've had a steady career on that since they began. And it hasn't changed. So I can safely say, without a shadow of a doubt, that Saliva are the band that have benefited the most from WWE. Because like I've said before, they would be nowhere if it wasn't for WWE. And I can safely say that with a blunt truthness to it. Because it's honest, isn't it? Saliva were nothing. And then once they hit the mainstream, WWE took them and made them something bigger. And if you can't admit that's true, then I don't know what's going on. But that's what I can assume is the case. Saliva are the band. They are WWE's band. And they'll probably stay that way until they stop making music. Because I haven't seen a time where WWE haven't used one of their themes. Okay, maybe they need to do now. They've got a new album out sometime next couple of years. They could get another theme song out of it. Because it's heavy, aggressive, and to be honest with you, it's not as heavy and aggressive as Drowning Pool can technically claim to be. So they can use it. They're not Limp Bizkit, so they won't offend parents. They're the perfect cookie cutter for what's needed. So, in this era, they can use Saliva. That's why I was surprised in 2010 they still used Hunt You Down. Just pointing it out. And guys, I'm going to end it there. Because I love talking about music. I can do it as long as I want to. I love that I can talk about music and wrestling in the same bubble of speech. But I've got to watch Mock of the Week in 25 minutes. I want to finish this when I can, knowing no one's going to interrupt me, because my brother and his friend are coming back from swimming in a minute. Guys, you know what you can do. I've got 3 more videos this week. Click the subscribe button up there if you want to see more. I appreciate it, especially to the couple of people who have subscribed since then. Thank you very much. Also, you know the usual. I've said it every video this week. Like my Facebook page. Search me on Skype for the group chats. I know we won't have many of them, but at least I can still chat to you while I'm at uni. Also, favourite/bookmark my blog. Again, you'll need it. Also, bit of breaking news here. I have Photoshop. I managed to get hold of Photoshop for the first time in a while, and I'm going to start making some new banners. Now, I'm not a very professional banner maker, but I'm going to try and get some vectors and piece something together to put something in my DeviantArt account, because I hate it just sitting idly there while I fave everything. I want to have something I can put up on a regular basis, so why not? So yeah, I'm going to make some banners. You'll hear about them on my blog. I'll probably make a banners made recently post every now and again if I have the time, and that'll be all there. So yeah, if you want to see some good banners, find them when I make them, wherever that may be. So yeah, also, just because I have to mention it, ask me Q&A questions. You'll get them in December, I've already mentioned. Guys, I've been Cream Crazy, nearly at 20 minutes. You've been people watching. This has been top 5 bands or artists that have benefited from WWE. And tomorrow, I've got a very special video. Wrestling Rant 63. For my top 10 current WWE wrestlers. Now I know you tell me what number 1 is already, but still, not a big problem. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.